The sunshine in me. Let the sunshine in me. Let the sunshine in me. In the morning, looking from my window to see the sunlight. It's nice and then gray clouds. I don't want, I'll be there. I don't want, yes, I'll be there. Let the sun shine into your life. Let the sun shine in when it's very bright. Without the warmth, no one needs the cold. We got to give thanks and praises to the one who made it this way. Oh, let the sun shine in me. 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 In the evening, when the sun is going down, look on the hillside. Oh, what a beautiful sight. I don't want darkness there. I don't want darkness without love. In the evening, the night people's coming out. The light of the moonlight is what they really enjoy. Without the warmth, no one needs the cold. We got to give thanks and praises to the one who made us this way. Oh, let the sun shine in me. Oh, Lord, let the sun shine in me. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in me. Oh, Lord, let the sun shine in me. Let the sun shine. The sun shine in me. What's up, Queen? What's up, Chrissy Power? Is it just us today? What's going on? I'll be right with y'all. I'm just doing some social media posting real quick. And you do the same if you can. Share this video. Make sure you like this video. Let the sun shine in me. Let the sun shine in me. Let the sun shine in me. All right, y'all. So listen, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. This is not my usual live. This is a shot of love, but we're going to take a closer look at Jaguar Wright for this particular shot of love. A shot of love, if you don't know, is typically on a Sunday. And it's really me coming on, reminding everybody of who you truly are within, right? Everything starts within. So we're talking, self-love, tapping in the spirit, your higher self, and the true source, God, right? before we make any moves, make any decisions in life, before we, leave the house every day, before you get out of bed. You should be really tapping into self and checking in with spirit, checking in with tribe. We all have a spiritual tribe, ancestors, elders, angels. They walk with us. They walk with us every day. Hey, wow, Wayne. So in bringing all of that up, that's the introduction to today's shot of love. But before I get into that, this was actually supposed to be for yesterday. And I wanted to talk to you guys about the Martin Luther and Coretta Scott King sculpture, the one that they just erected. I don't even know if I should use the word erected. Hold on, let me okay, I thought I saved the picture. Hold on 1 second. It's okay. We're gonna do this. Okay, so you guys, I'm sure you've seen the picture at this point. And I had posted on my community wall today asking, like, what do y'all think of the sculpture? It was getting a lot of heat. It was getting a lot of flack. So I wanted to get a clear understanding of this. I mean, they told us, that this is a replica or inspired by let me see if I can just taking up the whole screen, but of Dr. King and his wife, Coretta, embracing. And this embrace, it was taking place during a press conference where they found out that he won the Nobel Prize. And this is October of 1964, I believe the 14th. So it was a great moment. Okay. But the sculpture isn't really giving that in a lot of opinions. Art is subjective, right? Is it subjective or objective? I keep getting confused. I think it's subjective, like personally, personal perspective. But let's hear about what this thing is. Do I need to do this cookies thing? Oh, I can't stand it. Okay, let's just. This is an ad.
Book now at dreamsresorts.com with savings of up to 40%.
A new day is dawning in Boston, a sculpture being unveiled in Boston Common, Brace. It was inspired by a photo of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King after he'd been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964.
What's striking to me about it is, of all of the images that you could have selected, you chose this one.
When they met here, they were people full of dreams, full of ambition, and full of hope. And they chose to actually commit those dreams to one another and to society. And that day was like proof that they'd done what it was all worth it.
That's right. The start of the dream is a love story in Boston. King and Scott were students and met on a blind date in 1951. They soon became inseparable and started their journey together toward a cause larger than themselves. For the sculpture, artist Hank Willis Thomas stripped away everything but the embrace.
Not everyone has arms and hands, right? But all of us have been embraced, right? All of us know what it's like to feel embraced.
The This work is a collaboration between Thomas and the Mass Design Group. It beat out 125 other design proposals. The sculpture is pieces of bronze welded together at a foundry in Washington State and shipped across the country in 7 pieces, then reassembled. The sculpture sits on a plaza made up of diamond making tradition. All around, plaques featuring the names of local Boston civil rights heroes.
When you saw it for the first time, fully installed here, what was your reaction?
Oh, I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby.
Amari Paris Jeffries is the executive director of Embrace Boston, which is behind the project.
Boston has had a, shall we say, long and complicated relationship with race. How do we hope that this monument helps change that story?
You know, there's about 7 million people that visit Boston Common every year. They might hear a story of patriots, they might hear a story of freedom, and they might stumble across this monument and hear the story of the kings. This is about understanding.
The location of the memorial is just steps away from where Dr. King gave a speech before 22,000 people in 1965. Later today, Martin Luther King III and his wife, Andrea Waters King, will be there for the unveiling.
When you saw the renderings for the first time, what did you think?
I thought, this is a powerful image. Sometimes we are afraid to embrace. But for Dad and Mom to show us what embracing is, to have a manifestation of what they consistently did, it's that it really is about the manifestation of love. And Dad had obviously a love for his wife and family, but he had a love for humanity, and so did Mom.
It's also a reminder of the legendary couple's early years in Boston.
I would imagine it was a sweetness to that time. It wasn't very long after they were married and after they left Boston and settled in Montgomery. And then from there until the end of his life in 1968, it was a very public life.
That bond, now immortal, arms entwined, holding each other up, clinging to the dream.
A lot of people see a heart.
Oh, you're right. When people come and they experience this, what do you want them to take away from that experience?
I want them to take away the responsibility to carry on the legacy of the kings, who were devoted to unconditional love, to community, to humanity, and to hope.
I mean, it really was just a beautiful piece of public art there in Boston that I got to see a few days ago. But it's also the image that they selected, and Martin Luther King III talked about this as well. The picture that they selected, there's so many pictures of Martin Luther King that we've seen over the years, but that one where he's smiling, we don't really see Dr. King smiling as much. And if you also notice, Coretta Scott King's holding him up. His weight is on her shoulders.
Interesting observation. All right, well, he said that a lot of people see a heart. Well, a lot of other people see something else. I don't know if you guys have seen the internet, child, but let me go to my community wall. Hope everybody's doing well. What is it? Monday, right? On this Monday. All right, so here's my community post. Cousin of Coretta Scott says, Coretta Scott King, says $10 million Boston sculpture honoring MLK Jr. and his wife is a woke waste of money and genitals. That's a big, and this is a cousin of the family, in the family. I thought that was a little disrespectful, but other people. Oh yeah, Leah celebrated her birthday yesterday. But other people, felt the same way. Like, this is Michelle Obama's quote, which won't pull up for some reason. Do you know they used Martin Luther King to promote clubs and stuff on Martin Luther King's birthday? Here's one of the flyers. I had a big booty jam, MLK weekend kickoff. Like, seriously? This is what we're doing. And then lastly, let's see if it will pop up. Yeah, it doesn't get smaller. But anyway, this is a rapper. She's like, yeah, I heard it. Martin Luther King had a big one, didn't know it was that big. Referring to the sculpture. And at a certain angle, it does have a certain look. So anyway, I just thought, like, do you think that was intentional? Because it's kind of like a double entendre in a sense. If it were a word, it'd be a double entendre. All right. I can get off of this, okay? I just had to. This was a part of my ended up doing, but let's get to the topic at hand. Hey, Marcus X, Stasia the artist. Yes. So we're talking about Jaguar Wright. You know, unless you've been up under a rock this past weekend, you know that Jaguar Wright has been viral and has been in a very wild ride over the weekend. So we know Jaguar Wright as a whistleblower as of late, but she entered the scene in the 90s as an R&B singer. I would even say an R&B sensation. But she's also a troubled soul, right? I mean, I'm not going to go deep into all the stuff that happened this weekend because honestly, if you just Google her, but basically, you know, she's a married woman. I believe she and her husband have been married about 4 years. Now she did on live attack her husband. It was a verbal attack as well as a physical attack. And then she'd been hanging out with this guy for the past couple weeks, apparently just meeting him these past couple weeks. And his name is Soular, and he is said to be a part of the Carbon Nature. People call it a cult. Some call it a sex cult. Now, Soular is also said to be married to Velvet of the formerly of Carbon Nature. And if you remember, Nature Boy, who is now in prison or in jail, I'm not sure what the status is of his situation, but I know he's locked up. He was the leader. I think they said this guy took over as the leader, but he's supposed to be now married to Velvet. That's what I heard, and I hope that's not true. Nevertheless, all of that to say that she meets this guy. She's hanging out with this guy. She says that's her nephew. He says that's his aunt. The husband says something different. The husband said the guy, you know, came in to infiltrate his family, that, you know, he was trying to push up on his wife, that he caught them in a compromising position, and probably more than once just had weird vibes about the guy. Even her son, who's 20, I believe 20 or 21 years old, he is autistic, but if you hear him, he sounds very intelligent. He speaks very well. And he said that this man, he saw him chanting with his mother or over his mother or something to that effect. He felt very strongly that this man put some type of root on his mother or like possessed her, had her possessed. If you know this, what happened, so basically she pulled up on, this guy was in tow with her. Her husband was at a barber shop. From a witness that I listened to, she said they were sitting in the parking lot for some time before it happened. So it wasn't like she just pulled up into the parking lot and jumped out the car. They had already been sitting in the parking lot for some time, probably drinking, smoking, and some other things. There's rumors of other things. And she, at some point, decides, I'm going to go in there and make a scene. So that's what she did. She at him and screaming at him and calling him names and all kinds of stuff. It got physical. Then the husband went on and put this guy in a headlock. So it was like a whole thing. The security, I believe, the witness said the security on the lot is who called the police. And she got from the police directly that this stems from this man having messing with this man's wife. This is the statement that was given to the police. So when the police came, Jaguar was still tearing up, cursing, yelling, threatening to I'll just say ill, put a K in front of that, people, and you know, YouTube is so sensitive. I can barely speak on the things that were said, and I dare play the video, even though the videos are all over the internet, all over YouTube. But this being a shot of love is not necessarily about the incident, but more so, but I wanted to talk about Jaguar. So, the police came, they took Jaguar. This guy Soular said that they took Jaguar to a hospital, but I think the husband said that she was arrested. So, at this point, we don't know. And I think I've heard people who actually know her who said they haven't spoken to her directly, but she's good. But they were also unclear on exactly what happened with her following the police coming. So each of these people, the husband went live after the fact, as did the son, as did the fake nephew. Everybody, I would say that the nephew had a different story. The husband and the son seem to be aligned, and that's his stepson, of course. So, the whole possession thing is worrisome, because when you think about Jaguar Wright, her, like I said, I called her a whistleblower. I mean, that's like the technical term for people who, blow the whistle on establishments, companies, people, busting crime down, right? Or usually it's crime. It could be anything. But she came, I think it was during the pandemic. I think it was during the pandemic when Jazz came to us and started about these celebrities, right? I think she talked about Common, the drummer from The Roots. Who else? Talib Kweli, Mary J. Blige. I think she has some stuff to say about her. She was talking about everybody. Erykah Badu. Jill Scott. Tea on everybody. Not even just spilling, I would say pouring tea out on everybody in the industry. And so, we were rooting for her, because this was a time for people being exposed. We're in a new era. It's all about putting light on the truth. And here she comes. And we rooted for her and rooting her on and excited about it. Now, things got a little crazy with Jag. Seems like, with this type of whistleblower, I guess, behavior comes a lot of toxicity and negativity. People are coming for you. So she had disappeared she was like off the grid, or, we hadn't heard from her in like a good year. It was like a whole year. But now she came back. She came back recently, maybe a couple months ago. And she's back at it, right? Telling us things about Diddy, telling us things about, if I'm trying to think what else I have on my Twitter. I was tweeting some stuff. And here we are now again with a situation with her. Hi, beautiful spirit. I have no idea how she connected with him and why all those members are twisted in the head still to this day, even though Nature Boy is locked up. Well, yeah, I think there's so many layers to that whole Carbon Nation situation. I heard somebody call them Cardboard Nation, which I think is probably more fitting. The rumor is that the industry, probably the elite, sent this Soular person to Jaguar to infiltrate her life, her family, to get her, make her look bad, and to probably make her look crazy. And I think at the end of the day, kill her, or, ill her, because guns involved here, guns being said to have been. So apparently when the police came, the Soular guy was telling the police that the husband had a gun, or that he was trying to pull a gun on them, but it turned out he had a phone, and he was thanking the officer who noticed that it was just a phone. So it sounds like it could have been a very dangerous situation. He was also seen on video with her pulling out his own gun, and the husband meaning. So we know he is packing. He's ex-military also, so people say, he's volatile and violent. He has PTSD. So there's just so many layers, and that's why I'm just saying, just to focus on Jaguar in this moment, because outside of her with the husband and Soular, even the son, a lot of different energies, a lot of strong energy around her. And because Jaguar is such an open soul, she's open. You can tell by the way she just comes out there. Look at her on the screen. She has her pick in her hair. She typically is not wearing makeup. She keeps her hair a short crop. She's she's real. She's real as it gets. Okay, she don't have no pretense to her. Super open. And when you're open like that, you're vulnerable to attacks, psychic attacks they're called. But people, different energies attacking you, weighing you down, taking you in a different direction, giving you a false narrative and a false perspective. A lot of times when this happens, there's drugs and alcohol involved too. So, there have been fallouts from Nosy Ho and Jaguar Wright, and she had come on Nosy that she knows about, they were friends, she and Jaguar. She said, Jaguar was snorting that white boy. Jaguar admitted to affairs with her on her husband. So it's like, according to her, Jaguar is she's out there, and she doesn't have any boundaries, and she is, just wild. So I wanted to, and then again with the son saying that, his mother looked possessed. He had caught this guy Soular chanting with his mother. He said his mother didn't look like she was totally all there. And you did see there was didn't bring up the fact that she actually exposed these son's ashes, rubbing them on her. I think that guy Soular rubbed them on him too. He said that he did that to let her know it was all love. But she also was trying to throw the ashes on people, I understand. And this is all on video. And so when you hear things like this, these things are demonic. These are, these energies, these behaviors. There's a lot of witnesses. There's an eyewitness who is speaking on Down the Rabbit Hole channel. If you look up Down the Rabbit Hole on YouTube, the witness talks about her seeing she initially saw it from a distance and then parked closer and saw everything and heard stuff. And, she said a lot of phones out, and that it was, a very volatile and serious situation. So I went ahead and just looked up her birth chart from the information that I have. Now, I don't have her time of birth, which is helpful, but not required. You look up a birth chart. See, her birthday is May 7th, 77. So she is a Taurus. And yeah, I guess I could pull it up. Oops. All right, so this is based on her birth date and her being born in New Jersey. I didn't even have the specific location in New Jersey, so I'm not going to focus on her whole birth chart, but I do want to zone in on her Aries placements. We are currently, is today the 18th? If today's the 18th, we're coming out of Mercury retrograde as of today, even though, like I mentioned in the last live, which I think is on the member channel. Yeah, last live I did was on the member channel. If you missed that, please go check that out. Hopefully you are a member. Just join the channel for $1.99 a month and get the tea. But yeah, I have mentioned that, tomorrow's the 18th. So as of tomorrow, Mercury retrograde, we're going to be going back direct with Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication and information and media and things like that. So by going backwards, It's the undoing of a lot of that, a lot of miscommunication, misinformation, disinformation going on, a lot of combustible energies during these retrogrades. So that wasn't very helpful when it came to this past weekend and Jaguar. But I'm going to read. So her sun is in Taurus. Her moon is in Taurus, as well as her Mercury is in Taurus. She's a hardcore, full-blown Taurus. And I'll start with her Mercury placement. Let's see. No, actually, I'm sorry. I said her Aries placements. So her Venus is in Aries, and I'm going to read about people with their Venus in Aries. People with Venus in Aries could be described in only one word: imps. That's IMPS. They are impishly immoral. They are shameless in the way they blatantly pursue the object of their desire. They are very impulsive and impatient in everything related to love and relationships. The more cultured personality can try to suppress it, but there's something wild in something that can never be completely suppressed by so-called civilized behavior. Venus in Aries adds passion to feelings because its influence is mixed with the passion of Mars, which rules the sign. These people are not afraid to show their feelings, and they do so with passion, and this makes them usually popular with the other sex. They may marry in a rush. However, this kind of love cannot last long. The fire of passion finally burns love, and marriages that are the result of this love are the sources of family misfortune. Venus in Aries also tempts these people to spend more money. When it comes to love, they always lose their head. They throw themselves into a love affair, and they are convinced that this is the only true love between two people in the entire world. Well, maybe with one exception, Romeo and Juliet. When their love ends, they pick up the pieces and try to save the dead relationship in all possible ways. If it fails, they start again, and it will be the same as the first time. Regardless of the number of mistakes they make in their love life, they are sure that the true love is within reach. So, in reading this and just knowing the little bit that I do of Jaguar Wright, but having seen a lot of her, I would say that this is pretty on point. She does seem to be, just very impulsive and impatient. I'm sure you guys have heard her on the people's panels on YouTube. She overtalks people. She's takes over, right? I'm going to read also her Mars. Her Mars placement is in Aries also. And, Mars is the planet of war, and that is the ruler of Aries. So for her Mars to be in Aries, that is a big, fiery situation. All right. So Mars, it says, is very happy in fiery signs and likes to show how strong it is. Mars in Aries exhibits the best and worst of the desire for self-realization. These people have a huge but unmanageable supply of energy that needs to be controlled and directed. If these people do not have any introvert character features, then they are probably not troubled by things that trouble most other people. This lets them continue with things without being disrupted by different pros and cons. Their practical approach and unrestrained style are so simple and straightforward that finer details and tendencies may escape their attention. They are full of energy and they can deal with challenges that life brings, or they just do not care. Courage and initiative are on the list of their positive qualities, but unfortunately, love and patience are not among them. The aggressive or even militant nature of Mars in Aries can make these people very hungry for sex. They are full of sexual vitality, and females are attracted to militant, masculine, and violent men. Right? So, I would say that it's pretty on point with what we've heard about her husband. We get different stories. Some people say that she's the one beating up on him. Others, ex-military, and from what I understand, he suffers from PTSD. He has violent outbursts. So, basically what we're seeing play out is in the stars for Jaguar Wright with regard to her birth chart. And I feel like, when you know your birth chart and the tendencies and the things within, you can better manage yourself. So like if someone has sat down with Jaguar Wright at some point and gone through her birth chart with her and, able to explain and dissect some of the things, it could really help her and anybody to, stay the course on your passion for your purpose and be able to avoid certain roadblocks and pitfalls, and just be able to, again, better manage your life when you know, like, okay, well, this is where my tendencies are or my weaknesses, and this is based on my birth. This is nothing you can change or help. So let me come in the chat. Yep, he pulled out a gun when they were in Louisiana. I believe Jag was vibrating at a low frequency when Solar came around, and it was easy for him to sneak his satanic off on her. Solar allegedly baby came up. Okay, I don't know anything about a baby. But yeah, I just wanted to, highlight some of these things. It just appears that Jaguar Wright wants to be seen. Visibility is very important to her. I think even the nosy hoe, she gave her a diagnosis of somebody who cares more about being seen than being rich or gaining benefits or money from being seen. It's not about earning money or gaining anything from being seen. It's more so just about the visibility. Attention seeking behavior, which is very dangerous, because we know that the more attention you get comes from dangerous behavior and vile things that people see. They're attracted to that for some reason. If I had a title that said something derogatory or negative about Jaguar or about anything, I would definitely have more people in here. But it's all good. I just wanted to encourage y'all to check out your own birth chart. You can just search free Birthchart, lookup or something like that. And you can email me if you want the specific one that I use. But it's very simple, just your birth date, if the city you were born in, and if you know the time of day that you were born, and it will give you all the different aspects and the planetary placements when you were born, and give you the different things that you need to help better guide yourself, So what's up, SpongeBob? All right, I think that's gonna cover today. Today was a longer shot of love, honey. Almost 40 minutes. That's a record. But I appreciate y'all popping in. Good to see you, SpongeBob. And thank you, Wow Wayne, Beautiful Spirit, Queen, if you're here still, and Chrissy. Republicrat came in earlier. Republicrat said Jaguar Wright is going to recover and continue exposing the industry. You all are not going to let nothing happen to her. It should definitely be protected, okay? We definitely want prayers and positive vibes going out to Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright, she definitely needs space and time to heal, space and time to collect herself, and also use her discernment and cut out the cancers in her life. She's young, beautiful, vibrant, smart woman and talented. So she can't, put the pieces back together and keep moving forward, as we all should be doing, right? Retaking your deep breaths and doing all that good stuff. Shining from the inside out, like, everything is from the inside. Remember that. So tap in every single day. Make sure you're not just walking around here like a zombie, looking at everything but, yourself. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.